once it registers.
Let me know.
And it says, oh, it's connecting. Now we're live on both.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday, July the... What day is it?
15th.
15th of 2025. And Crazy B and myself are both under the weather. And our attitude is we just want to get through it without being sick or throwing up on air. So, fortunately for me, I was given a Z pack, so hopefully that'll kick in. And if it doesn't, then we got to go to the hospital, which I'm not looking forward to. So
Who the hell does?
I know I'm gonna try to hang as long as next week when I go into the specialists. So we'll see what happens. But our poor Crazy B is under the weather as well, and she's got a headache, so nobody holler at her, and she wants to throw up. So
Yeah.
if you holler at her, you might get thrown up on. So fair warning. So with that,
Oh, I forgot to tell you while I was on here yesterday. I just happened to see it. The one short I put up yesterday, the shorter of the shorts, or the
okay.
day before, whatever it was, it's got over 1,000 views. The other one's at 879.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, and our view total from our last episode on Rumble was like 700 and something, but only 2 likes. Explain that one.
Oh, guys, I keep asking you. We need the likes desperately. That's what makes the algorithm pop.
Like us.
Yeah, like us. You don't have to. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. But at least give us a thumbs up.
Well,
Like,
subscribers help a lot too.
true. This is true. But if they don't want to subscribe, at least give us the like. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that difficult. Before you enter the live chat, just hit the like or the follow button. That's all you have to do.
And before you leave, if you want to watch it thoroughly before you leave, you are free to do so too.
Right. Or give us the like, and then after you watch it, if you don't like it, change your thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And even the thumbs downs do at least acknowledge for us of what is liked or not liked.
True.
And we can kind of wing it from there. You guys got to give us some kind of feedback.
Right. But if you don't, I would say, if you don't like something, why do you stay and watch it? I never, like, I mod for some content creators that, are on lives for, 2+ hours sometimes. And the people that are in the comments are so nasty and so negative. And I mean, swearing and mother effing and all this other stuff. And what I don't understand is why, if you are that unhappy with the content creator, do you stay in the chat? Why do you
Oh,
stay?
those are probably the attention seekers or the bots. You can ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
Most people with a brain leave. Now, I've been known to fall asleep in the middle of live streams or replays of them. And whether they talked shit or terrible or not, I wouldn't know because I was out cold. But,
Right,
it happens.
right. Yeah, that happens. I have my content creators that start out with the news, and the next thing you know, their voice just lulls you to sleep,
Hmm.
and you can't do anything about it. But you're gone, and that's just from being tired and exhaustion. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot. Even though we rarely get to leave the home, we still do a lot.
Yeah, we do. Right.
And it's like I've said, I can put in how many hours into editing and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
learning how to do it better and all that. I mean, yeah, today's edits are very not the ones on today's videos, but the videos we're going to have later in the week are going to be, you could tell I wasn't feeling good. It is the basic. I don't
Mm.
think I even got all the spell checks right. I might have to redo another one. One of the videos might have to be redone because I just, yeah,
Yeah,
screw this.
Don't
It's
worry
not my
about it.
usual.
Don't worry about it. We'll see if anybody catches anything and makes a comment. So
Uh,
you've all been forewarned. There's a video that potentially does not have the standard the crazy bee likes to follow when it comes to editing. So you see if you can spot the I spy with my eye what crazy bee messed up. And I got to see if I can catch it myself as well. And right now, she can do whatever needs to be done, and I don't have an issue with it. I mean, she spends hours doing that. I do a large portion of the research, and I'm telling you, you have no idea how much time I spend on that. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I go work on that, and
we
it's
aren't
just,
just headline readers.
yeah,
We are
it's,
not.
and we have separate projects that we're working on. We're trying to collaborate. We have one definite collaboration with an outside content creator. We're looking for a second one, and then potentially an author, and we'll just see how things go. I mean, but it takes a lot of time. And, as I've repeatedly said, for me, I never anticipated having a 3-month old. I would have had all my stuff and my ducks lined up in a row and have been good to go, but, God had other
Life
plans.
changes on the
Yeah,
drop of a dime.
yes, it does. God said, look out, here's what's coming. And sent this wild man here. And today was a rough day. We spent the morning a half an hour fighting. Uh, this afternoon, another half hour. Then just before we got on air, arguing for 15 minutes. And I finally got them done and that. So nobody's
Yep.
touching them.
Blue Rose says
If
hi.
anybody touches them and wakes them up, they're going to meet the wrath. I worked too hard to get it put on. So whatever. But I actually got him moved off of me. Yesterday, I held him for almost 2 hours. He wasn't feeling good. And he wanted that. I had never, ever held him upright. He was in the crook of my neck. His face was buried in it. Normally he's laying, up against the armpit and the boob and that region. But this was like he was just beside himself. So I don't know what his problem is. Probably his parents. But well, I can't get that. Well, I better retract that. You better erase that crazy bee. No, don't.
I'll
They
do
won't
the best
listen.
I can.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They ain't never gonna listen. Who you kidding?
Hey, I complain about my family too, but they know darn well how I think and feel. I make
So
mine known publicly
yeah,
too.
there we go. So what's going on your end of the world, crazy bee?
I'm alive for now.
And how's the family doing? How's everybody feeling? Because I know they weren't feeling well either.
I'm the only one. Well, my daughter's feeling kind of icky too, but not as bad. Last I checked, my nephew hasn't thrown up since yesterday morning, I believe. Yeah, it was yesterday morning he was puking, power puking. Um,
Oh,
and then today we were doing all right. Or was it the day before? I can't frickin' remember. Either way, he's doing better now. I'm not, as we can tell.
mm-hmm.
Um, my daughter's, my son's back is bugging him. It's like, well, go sleep on your bed instead of the yoga mat on the floor. So he finally did sleep on his bed.
Oh, he did.
But
Did he?
it gets too hot up there. So first thing in the morning, he comes down and takes over his dad's bed to get a few extra hours in. I don't
Wow.
blame him because
I
I
hear.
spend my mornings editing and watching videos just to pass the time. Well, the video has no audio, and I'm reading over subtitles to make sure names aren't misspelled and stuff like that. So,
Right.
and then I turn on the audio, make sure it all lines up the way it's supposed to. So, my mornings are pretty quiet, but yeah, I could
Yeah.
have used the sleep the entire day.
I hear you. I
which is
felt.
basically what I did yesterday, by the way, because I was sick yesterday too. And that's why I
Mhm.
didn't bother going live with the questions that need answers that I have
Right.
had lined up and completed for like a week or two or
Right.
more. I've just been between busy and sick and family still moving from one house to the other. Lordy, it's been wild. I mean, I'm not even really helping with the moving stuff. I'm just been so sick and the storms rolling overhead. So I'm trying to get better.
Right.
I'm trying.
Well, if I fall asleep during the podcast, please gently shake me. I I'll gladly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I'll
I
play
will.
your screen back for you.
There
That's
you
how I'll
go.
wake you up.
And that'll wake up the baby, and then I'd have to hurt you. So just be careful how loud you scream it. But I didn't go to bed till 6 a.m. and then was back up at 8. And just like you said, that finally was like, oh, hunkered down, the blanket was on, the air was on, and it was just like, please let me sleep another couple hours.
Yeah.
But it was not to be.
I've been up since what, 4:30 this morning my time?
Hmm.
Yeah, I started sending memes. I thought everybody was asleep and then I got told to go back to sleep.
Who told you that?
You did. What are
Oh,
you
that's
doing
right.
awake?
That's right.
Go back to bed.
That's
Go
right.
back to sleep. This is
That's
all a dream.
right. That's right. I forgot about that. That's pretty funny. See, I was so tired myself. Yeah, wait, I got to pull that up because that was pretty funny now that I think
Blue
about it.
Rose says having insomnia is crazy and annoying. That is an
Yeah.
understatement.
Good afternoon, Blue. How you doing, hon? Let's, let's see what I wrote to you this morning. What the hell time was that? Um,
Oh, really freaking early.
oh, so the funniest part was when you said to me, "Oh, so do you think it would be worth trading plate?" You said, "I don't think it would be worth us trading places for us being sick."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, yes, it would because then you would have the brat." So,
And it wouldn't be in our personal DMs. It's in the group chat one, I
oh,
believe,
the
is where I
group
sent
chat.
all the memes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Blue Rose says she's doing good.
I'm glad somebody is.
I'll trade you.
Okay, so
I'll
here we
definitely
go.
trade
Well,
Blue
this
Rose
was
since
pretty.
she's
This
doing
was
good.
pretty. This was funny in of itself. How stupid I was. And I don't even know where the heck it started or stopped. But I said to you, oh, there was a comment made about, oh, loop de loo, loop de
Oh
loo.
yeah, the Shirley
Yeah,
Temple in the middle of the
yeah.
night
So,
infomercial
right. So
things.
it's loop de loop. And I go, I thought it was fiddle dee dee. And then you write back, they used a few of her songs in the late night adverts. And I'm like, I was being sarcastic. Must be too early for you. And then I started, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. This is all in your imagination.
Yep.
No,
Didn't work
it
because
did.
I was
No.
back up. I was up for till about 8:30, crashed for about an hour, woke up at 10 and then or 9, sorry, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there, whatever the hell it was, and finished off editing the videos for the week. Except the one I gotta go possibly. No, you said not to bother, so
Yeah,
screw it.
don't
But
worry.
some of these I went through, read all the subtitles, cleaned them up, but then forgot to add the subtitles to the video, so the video came out with no subtitles on it, and I had to go back and redo it.
Don't make me laugh. My chest hurts so bad. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I literally went through, checked all the subtitles, made sure they were right, but forgot to lay them on top of the
Oh,
video. So,
oh,
stupid me.
oh, priceless stuff. The things we do. I
That
hate.
happened like a total of 3 times.
Uh-huh. I hate when that happens, when you do something and you're like, what the heck am I doing? What is wrong with me?
I have this pattern down. I
Yeah.
cut the video down to the right sizes, then I put in the subtitles, and then I add them to the video and make them look all pretty the way I do with the different colors.
Mm-hmm.
But this time I forgot to add them to the video and put on the colors. It was just not there. So it's like,
Wow,
what is the point?
that's funny.
They were invisible subtitles. There we go. You need a special decoder to see them.
you, we
Oh
got
my
the
god.
we're gonna get sell the decoder rings, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's funny.
I am
I can
so
remember
tired.
having them.
Oh
Know
god. For
that?
those who aren't old enough, yeah, I'm sorry. You missed out on a great part of life.
Yes, you did. Because you looked
Cracker Jack
forward to that
was
stuff.
great.
Yes, it was. That and having your uh, key on a piece of string around your neck for your skates, because the damn
Yep.
thing never stayed on the right way, and you'd have to stop and take them off and fix them. They never fit the right way ever.
Yep. The one thing I will say that I am absolutely depressed about, Rose Tea does not give out the little ceramic figurines anymore.
Yeah, so am I. I have a whole
I
bunch of
had
them.
hundreds and hundreds of those. I had almost the complete collection. Then when we moved, they got lost. But
Well,
those
yeah.
motherfuckers stopped putting them
Mm-hmm.
in the box.
I used to take them and put them in my planters because they were
Yes,
little
because
enough.
they're cute.
Yes, in my
I've
plant.
put them in fish tanks and stuff and
Yep,
aquariums with my
yep.
lizards.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I
But
like
no,
them.
they stopped. This
I,
it's
I
like
thought,
really it's the that's the only reason I really bought their brand. The tea's
right,
not that great, but I
right.
like the little figurines in it. Put
Mm-hmm.
the figurines back, Rose Tea.
Yeah, see, there's you talk about a marketing stream. Wonder how much business they lost when they quit doing that.
Oh, now we just buy whatever's cheapest because I have no reason to buy them,
Yeah,
assholes. And so
right.
sometimes I get that nasty Walmart brand, but still,
Oh
I
no,
would have at least paid the extra dollar or so for the rose because I get the little figurine dudes.
right.
I
Yeah,
hope they bring
be
them back
careful.
because I
Yeah,
love them.
don't waste your money on the Amazon brand. I tried that just to try it, and ugh,
Yeah. And
yeah,
we do make a lot of tea in this house.
right.
I mean, we go through a lot of tea.
Yeah,
And
I do like the red rose. I like the Bigelow teas.
I
Like
think we need to start a petition with them to put the figurines back.
we could.
Who wants to join us? This podcast will be the first to
Although
petition they bring them
yeah,
back.
we throw up a poll. Although we tried doing a poll yesterday, and our response wasn't that good. But you want to try to do a poll? Should we
I can on YouTube.
YouTube? So say, should we petition to bring back Red Rose figurines? Yes or no?
Okay, I might have to do that after the live.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then could you throw that out as a short for people to could they vote on the short?
Oh wait, nope, I can create it from here.
Oh, you can? Cool.
Yep.
When
Oh
mo
no, whoop, wrong one. How do I delete that? Cancel that. I want a text poll.
Okay. One moment, please, while we work on the petition. This is extremely important in our day-to-day lives, just so you know. I thought I was the only one that got all bent about that. That's funny. And if you haven't done so already, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and all that other happy horse crap that you're supposed to do.
Okay, it's posted.
Cool. Awesome. Good job there, Crazy Bee. I'll go out there later and answer the question. Alright, so
Hmm.
got up first. It's already 3:20.
Um, it is. Our first one is article.
Okay.
Oh, whoops. Let me. Oh my God, my brain is so short circuited right now.
No blue.
Uh,
Unfortunately, there is not yet a blue rose tea that I'm aware of. Although their blue is the blue box isn't that their decaffeinated brand?
It's like a bluish green color,
Or
right?
yeah, because the red is just red rose, but the one that you always got the figurine in was like a bluish color,
Oh no,
right?
I've gotten it in the regular. They put it in every single box they ever produced.
I never, well, hmm.
We always drink strong tea, so the stronger the
Yeah,
caffeinated content, the
I
better.
don't recall, yeah, I don't recall it being in the red, because I
Hmm.
always got it in the blue box, which was not decaffeinated. It was something, hmm, that's interesting. They had the
We
red,
always get the red box, and it always had the figurines in it. I've never had any of their other
well,
version
I,
things, or was it the blue ones we always got? I can't remember.
I'm
Hold
pretty
on, let me
sure
go
it was
get a
the
picture of the
blue.
box.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it was the blue, because I don't think you got a figurine in the red. One moment,
Uh,
please, while we uh, look at some technical support issues with relevance to the tea bags.
their original is blue. The
Right.
English breakfast is red, and the decaffeinated is green.
I don't remember the red ever saying English breakfast, though. Maybe they changed the name. Hmm. Anyway, I
Hold on.
bought one whatever had the figurine in it, so because I wanted that figurine.
Hold on.
That's
Someone asked, are the figurines worth anything? Over the years, they have given away
oh yeah.
300 million Wade figurines in just the United States. These cute little collectible figures may have been given away, but now they can be quite worth quite the money, quite a bit of money, anywhere between a few dollars up to $700 or more.
Hmm.
Oh, now I'm pissed they lost them all.
Could be worth a little fortune
Oh,
then.
it says it does include them still in some of their packages. But the way they are distributed has changed. While the figurines are no longer automatically included in every box sold by third party retailers, they are still available for free with online purchases of selected ones, original or naturally decaffeinated blends, but you have to buy it from them online.
Oh wow.
Oh, guess where I'm going to be starting to buy tea from? Screw these stores.
Mm-hmm.
I want them back in every box, though. Screw that. That's bullshit.
We'll
So,
still put the petition up.
yeah, I still want it in every box, not
So
just the ones we order
right,
from them online.
right. All right. So what do we got up here? Oh, this is the article from Colin Rugg, and this is I
Do you
don't
need me to
recall.
enlarge it?
No, I'm okay. I don't recall the date on it though. But a poll found that 40% of voters say that they are likely to support Elon Musk's American Party if he decides to launch it, according to Qantas Insights. The poll comes as Musk has threatened to launch his own political party over recent disagreements with the Republican Party. Time for a new political party that actually cares about the people, he recently said in a post on X.
Do you want me to play the video?
If you'd like to, it's up to you, dear.
I gotta zoom out to do so.
Okay.
Whoops.
It has over 32.2 million views.
Derive joy from seeing.
Okay, let's hit play really quick. It's only a quick minute.
I build rockets and cars and stuff. Um, so what am I doing in politics? It's not. I don't want to be in politics. I want to be clear. That is not my preference. I just like building stuff. I like building products that people love, and I derive joy from seeing people enjoy the products that my companies make. I actually don't like politics at all. I hate politics. but the stakes are so high here that I have had no choice but to take a stand. So it's not something I want to do, and you get taxed on what you own, you get taxed on what you buy, and you get taxed on what you own. taxes, taxes, taxes. You know, and then what does it get spent on? A bunch of the stuff it gets spent on you don't even agree with. So that's why we need to reduce the size of government and just spend less money and let the people keep a lot more of their hard-earned money. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can't disagree with them on that one.
Right. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, the amount of taxes.
I built rockets and.
Close your eyes, go to sleep, B. Not you, crazy B. Go to sleep, close your eyes. Andy's here. Close your eyes, there you go, that's a good boy. Wake up, crazy B. I know you want to go to sleep, B, but you can't. Uh-oh, I think somebody's up. We'll see.
I'm just kind of scrolling through the comments to see if there's
Uh-oh.
anything worth reading.
Well, hold on, because the father of the child is entering the door.
Ah.
So we are live. Say hi. Jacob, say hi to Crazy B. You know her. Say hi, Crazy B.
Hi, Crazy B.
How was your day?
Hi, sweetheart.
No. They say they can't pass the test, but they said to me, so I said to them, do you have to pass your test every single Monday? And then they said, no, if you already passed your test. But I just laughed because I already passed my test.
So did you go in?
Yeah.
He has been out of control today. He's only slept a total. It's fine. They already know. He's the third co-host. He only slept 45 minutes this morning, and total maybe 50 this afternoon. He needs a good nap. All right. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Jacob, I'll see you later today, my man.
Okay, I love you.
I love you after dinner. Half an hour. You know, I want to go off topic and go on a really bad rant. Permission
Okay,
granted?
go for it. I'm not feeling good, so have at it.
Okay, so I started reviewing second grade work and going into third grade work with Jacob.
Uh-huh.
As God is my witness, that boy cannot read one effing word. Not one.
Yep.
That
My
sound
daughter
and
is the same
blend
way.
bullshit. That sound and blend. Every single word that you cannot get the struggle. For like example, we were doing math and you had to convert the word of the number and then, circle what it represented. So for example, 119. Number one, he didn't know the word one. Two,
Okay.
sound and blend on 100 was huh, huh, der, and he looked at me. I'm telling you, I can't even talk. I'm so freaking angry at
I
this
know.
whole school system. He
I
has
am
had
too.
an IEP in place since kindergarten, and they have failed him. They've passed him. They've let him go. What the hell is going on in our school system? Then I come to find out that Randy Weingartner, okay, is somehow connected to the Trump administration getting a grant. Get this crap. Ready? I'm going to pull the story, okay? We'll have it for either later. I don't know if we'll get to it this week. It might have to be early next week. There's going to be a grant with the Department of Education to put forth AI to teach our students better.
No.
Yes. Absolutely freaking yes. Now, the only saving grace from that has been somehow, because of the freeze on the monies, the money is not going to be there immediately. So the school educators are putting up a a concerted effort to, bitch and moan about it. Oh, we're not going to be able to get this done for the kids. For the kids, we
They
need to
kept
have
getting
AI
shit
for the
on.
kids. So we are starting back tonight. He needs at least 15 to 20 minutes per day. And
Reading.
we are starting back on memory, the way it used to be. Memorize. Here's the words 1 through 10. Here's, specific words you have to know, like that is, whatever they are.
The simple words.
Yes. Now, he did get the concept of conjunctions, like crazy B is sick, D is sick. Join those together. So he was able to say, crazy B is sick, and so is Nene is sick. So he got that. But he couldn't read a damn word on any of the sentences. Not one word.
You should have seen me sounding out the word general for my daughter to write into an application. Gen, oh, general, general. Nope, could not piece the letters that made the sounds.
She
I'm
graduated high school already, though, did she not?
Yes, but she also has a degree of dyslexia, but the way to overcome that is to keep practicing.
Right.
So I'm trying to sound out words so she can spell them um like general, like I said, and there was another one that I was working on and she was not having it. She's like, just spell it for me. I'm like, I know how to spell it. I'm not. You need to learn how to hear the sound and write the letters that match it.
Right.
Not having it.
Well, we grew up with memorization and repetition. For
I
example,
learned the phonics. Hooked on phonics was what worked with
no
my
way.
reading.
Nope,
It helped me.
that's what EJ grew up with, and with his ADHD and all that, it did not help him at all. And to this day, he writes shit as if it was sounded and blended. He doesn't know how to spell the word. He sounds and blends the word and writes it that way.
Oh, see, I still am really good at spelling.
Well,
That's one of the things that saved my life when I did medical terminology is I'm really good at the spelling in that. So for me, it actually worked really good. Him,
and see,
everybody's different.
right, and that's see, to me, that's what's necessary. Like on Mondays, you got your 20 vocabulary words, okay?
Yep, we did
And
a lot
you're
of that.
right. And you repetition, rewriting them over and over for the week. And
Oh,
all of your
no, my mom took
papers,
it a step further. We had to write the definition with the word
yes,
over and
that's
over.
correct. You had the definition. Then you had to use it in a sentence. Then you may have it like on a, some type of, ditto paper or some crap that you had to try to pick the best word to
Flashcards.
fit in the sentence, right?
Yep.
And, and then on Friday, you had a test on the vocabulary words. That's the only way this is going to work. And I'm telling you what, come the week before school, when those teachers are there, they need to call the people in charge of his IEP. They need to call his third grade teacher. And they don't want me up there because I pay a lot of money in school taxes and I'm getting jack shit for it.
Mm-hmm.
It is totally unacceptable. I think I told you before, either if you're a kid that's extremely smart, or if you're one of the jocks, or you're a kid that's an extreme troublemaker, they're the kids that are paid attention to. Everybody
Yep.
else that's in between is ignored.
Like my
EJ
son.
graduated with kids of almost 800 graduating students in his class. That is obscene. It's
Mm-hmm.
obscene.
Well, my son was more advanced in all of his learning, but wasn't allowed to go further because the other students were behind.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. Yep. I'm
They're
living
holding back the whole class to not hold back
because,
one
yep,
student.
yep. So,
My son was bored out of his frickin' mind.
mm-hmm. This is just absolutely frickin' unacceptable bullcrap. So we'll have that. I'll have that pulled. I already started looking at it, and we can continue the rant. And I appreciate it. Uh, but he couldn't come down yesterday because he had 4-H, and he doesn't get home till late from there. So today he has to double up on the work. But it's just extremely frustrating.
It
You know,
is.
I'm supposed to be the nanny having fun and carrying on with him. I don't want to be his teacher, and I will do that gladly versus, his mom and dad, because as a parent how frustrating it can be, to have your kid not, you're like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you get it? And all that happy horse shit. So,
Yep.
I mean, so I don't want to see him get on that path with him. And then plus, we're going to take him to get another evaluation done just to see where he falls. Because I did tell you, about his niece, his
Mm-hmm.
cousin, and to make sure there's no issues there because he hasn't been tested yet or anything. So,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I'm telling you, it's just never
The
ending
school
bull.
system's a mess right now.
That's putting them, and we're in one of the more wealthier and highly educated schools. I mean, our school's a big to do school, and when we moved out here, I hated it. I mean, I didn't like it from the get go, and I wanted Eric to take the kids back into the city and go to the schools that they were going to. And he was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And oh, we would fight over that. It was terrible.
Yep.
That was probably one of our bigger fights was which schools they were going to go to. But I don't know. It's a damn shame. It really is. So I got to keep an eye on him and make sure that he's going down the straight and narrow path. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for the digression. What do you got next, Crazy B?
All right. Next is Marjorie Taylor Greene's bill, but instead of sharing, it stopped sharing.
Okay.
There we go. Now it's back.
Okay.
Oh, back to the top. There we are.
So
I'm
Marjorie,
sorry. I am
that's
out of
okay.
it.
I was just waiting. You're fine. Marjorie Taylor Greene announces a bill to tackle weather modification. This is from July the 6th. There has been some other information in the news. One of the most interesting that I find is part of a conspiracy theory, in air quotes, saying that um, she has had deliberate weather modification done recently, like with all the rain that we've received and with the flooding and everything, just so she could get her bill passed.
That would be
So,
me, who was
you
being
know,
sarcastic, but it's still funny
it
and
is.
still
I mean,
probable.
right, don't, but I would think that would be through her witchcraft and, not having to go to anybody else, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Anyway, hmm
Let
go
me
ahead, scroll
scroll.
up. Yeah. So, Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has announced she is introducing a new bill which would tackle weather modification. Writing on X, the Republican politician said she was creating legislation that would make the injection, release, or dispersion of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere for the express purpose of altering weather, temperature, climate, or sunlight intensity a felony. Wow, I find that interesting. And who would that be targeted towards? The question is, why does it matter? Some conspiracy theorists claim that the government or secretive organizations are using commercial or military aircraft to release chemicals or metals into the atmosphere visible in so called chemtrails, the white lines aircraft leave behind in the sky. People have claimed these are used for a range of things from weather modification to mind control. Oh, I
Prince
did.
was big on the mind control one.
Yeah. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, the white lines observed behind aircraft are contrails, condensation trails, that form when hot exhausts from jets meet cold air at high altitudes. The EPA states these are a natural result of flight and pose no risk.
I don't trust the EPA.
Mm-mm. Federal agencies, including the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, have publicly denied undertaking or planning any weather modification experiments such as those described by chemtrail conspiracy theorists. In 2024, after Hurricane Helene killed at least 227 people, Green made several conspiratorial comments and seemed to suggest the then Democrat controlled U.S. government could control the weather. In Florida, a new law makes unapproved cloud seeding and other similar activities a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison or significantly raised fines of up to $100,000. That came into effect on July the 1st.
What to know?
Writing on X, Green said she had been researching weather modification and working on a bill which she said would be similar to the one in Florida that was signed into law by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in June of 2025. I am introducing a bill that prohibits the injection, release, or dispersion of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere for the express purpose of altering weather, temperature, climate, or sunlight intensity, she wrote. It will be a felony offense. She added, we must end the dangerous and deadly practice of weather modification and geoengineering.
That's where she basically
Correct. Made the
repeats it.
correct. In another post, she said that the Tennessee representative, Tim Burchett, was a co sponsor. No person, company, entity, or government should ever be allowed to modify our weather by any means possible, she wrote. What people were saying. Writing on X, Florida Democrat Jared Moskovich mocked Green, writing, I'm introducing a bill that prohibits the injection, release, or dispersion of stupidity into Congress. Well,
I've
that's
been
real
asking for
mature.
that one for a
Yeah,
while.
and he's mature. Atmospheric scientist Matthew Cappuccini, Capuccini,
Capucci.
Capucci, whatever, Capucci, Here we go. Let's sound and blend it together, class.
Well, except it's an Italian name,
Capucci,
ain't gonna work in
yeah,
English.
yeah. It's not a political statement for me as a Harvard degree atmospheric scientist to say that elected representative Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. She'd be equally qualified to fly a Boeing 737, practice nuclear medicine, or train zebras. What happens
Training
next?
zebras might be fun.
Yeah. hmm Whether Green drums up enough support for her bill to pass in the House of Representatives remains to be seen.
And that's that. And they're
Yeah,
claiming this is unfair, very left leaning.
right. So, uh, we often laugh about that, about the weather and what's done. I mean, I do know that cloud seeding, doesn't that occur a lot like in California?
All over the world, actually.
Really?
Art
Okay.
even said it right here. We've been cloud seeding since the 70s or late 60s, but now
Mm-hmm.
it's suddenly some conspiracy.
Okay. So it's been going on for a long
Yeah, it's
time.
something that's been going on for a long time.
So then, is that considered? Would you consider that to be a positive or a negative?
Well, I mean, when they first started, places ended up with severe flooding,
Well,
but I'm sure they've
there's
tried
severe
to
flooding now.
modify since then.
Yeah, and there's severe flooding now,
Hmm.
right? I mean, look at North Carolina and look at what just happened in Texas.
Yeah. Well, in deserts, flash flooding is very common. Well, I
Right,
mean, it's not like common, but it's not so unheard of. It's just so infrequent that people, especially on the level like what we just saw, it's not like that hasn't happened before. It's
right,
just been so long, most people have forgotten it has happened before.
right, right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not crazy about the idea of weather modification, but I kind of like the idea in I guess it got to be a fantasy kind of thing, but I like the idea that, places that don't have water or, too much, too little, too late kind of thing. I don't know. I can't. How do you get water to these places? How do you get water to the
Well,
desert?
that
And
was the whole point of cloud seeding was
right,
to help with famine ridden
right.
areas.
But it what? So, and that's what I'm asking again. Does it depend on the situation and where they're at? I mean, do they think that it's been beneficial there?
I don't know. Honestly, the research that I've seen comes back inconclusive whether it's been good or bad.
I see. Okay.
Um, oh, Art says, I don't know that cloud seeding really has too much of an effect. It is certainly isn't going to create a hurricane.
Okay.
Yeah, hurricane would require injecting heat into the atmosphere in a cold area in order for them to blend and cause basically a massive tornado over the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I know I often joke about it, but I don't think they're as advanced as they are, but it still would be a problem if they are causing deaths.
Right.
Just say,
I don't disagree
uh,
with that.
we've all seen the end of the world movies that usually have some kind of natural disaster in them. It's never fun.
No.
The
That's why
90s and the early 2000s were big on that.
that's why I say always, well, in my case, I'm like, if I see the light, just walk into it. And I hope the rest of my family can do the same because I'll tell you, to be in the aftermath of it, I think is going to be way worse than just
Hmm.
going to the light.
And so, what does my stupid ass do? I live on the very edge of Tornado Alley where we get, God knows, we've had on and off tornadoes since January. We have
Right?
had thunderstorms,
Oh my
not
God,
rain,
almost
not
every
just
day we're
rain,
talking about
but what happened to just the rainstorms? What's with all this update, with all this up, uptick of electricals that's going on? I
right,
mean, you look at this, there used to be times when we would just get rain, but now every single rainstorm is a thunderstorm. It is not just rain.
right.
What's the why is there this difference? I mean, literally every week we have had massive thunderstorms rolling through.
Yes. And you send them to me when you're done with them.
Well, they come from people west of us.
Whatever. So you say.
Well, that's what they taught us in
Just,
school,
it
not that
just
we can
seems
believe
funny
that.
that when after you're done with it, it comes my way.
Yeah, and after it's done with you, it goes upwards towards New York and Maine and Connecticut and Vermont.
Yeah, makes sense
If
to
you Art says if you do the math to determine the amount of power needed to alter the path of a hurricane, you quickly realize man simply cannot control the weather. Not so much control, but they can definitely trigger something to start, but can't handle the outcome of it. I'm west of you guys. It's my fault. Thank you, Art.
me.
Stop sending it.
Yeah, for real, stop sending it.
I'm
You,
sick of cutting the grass twice a week.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Cutting the grass, all of that crap, all the weeds, the poison ivy. It's craziness.
Yep.
And then the flooding of the bugs, and then they got to decide that they want to move into the house. To which, speaking of
Mm-hmm.
which, about bugs. So, last week we had the Eric scared me out of my pants scream. Well, thank goodness we weren't live and it could be recorded for that because I was on the phone with Crazy B. We were working on some subject matters when what happened? Not once, not twice, not 3 times. I think it was 4 times, perhaps, that I screamed at the top of my lungs.
Uh-huh, because the little stinker was hiding, and then you'd find him, and then he'd run, and yep,
Yeah, because it was one of her spawned friends that she sent up
the
here.
spawn of Satan
Yes.
joined you.
Uh-huh. And it was one of those little black, fast-moving ones. He hopped on me, and I don't know where I threw him to, and then he was on the bed. Whoops, sugar. And then it was on, and then I couldn't find him, and Crazy B's like, just let him go. He'll come back out. And I'm like, I'm not letting him go. I'm finding him now. So unfortunately, my man had to pass away. For her laughter, I almost threatened putting his dead body and taping it on a piece of paper and sending it to her, but she said she
And
would
I
open up
said
any
anything
mail
that was
from me,
sent from
so
there would be hit with a baseball bat before brought into the house.
right. That, and then you weren't going to open up any mail I was going to send, so I was like, well, that's stupid because there's shit I need to get to you every once in a while, so, that didn't
I'm
work.
stubborn like that.
But she was so disappointed. She's like, oh man, I'm disappointed. I could have used them in some new shorts.
The
Speaking of
screams.
which, yes, and we're talking about YouTube shorts, not shorts that you wear. So Crazy B actually created 2 shorts of my screaming that go along with communism. So go check it out on YouTube and give us a thumbs up, please. And if you like that, I'll do more screaming because that's easy to do around here.
Art says he sent the weather COD. You chose to accept it.
Well,
Now, there's a saying I haven't heard in a long time is cost on delivery.
uh-huh.
Holy shit. That's
It's cash
old.
on delivery, not cost.
Cash. That's it. Thank you.
Cash
My
on
brain.
delivery. Yes, ma'am. Yep, you got to pay for it when it arrives. They don't
Which
do
they
that.
no longer do because many
Nope.
people didn't pay.
Correct. Yep. And they tried to just steal the item and take it anyway without paying for it.
People used to be honest.
Uh-huh. Back in the day. Hell, remember having milk boxes and the milkman would come every day and put
Oh,
milk
that
in
was
your milk
before me.
box
That was
and
about 10 or 15 years
yeah.
before me.
Yep, we had a it was called Otto. OTTO was our delivery people. When the milk was in a red and white container, they had to bake it. But every day they would stop and deliver milk. With 4 kids, you went through milk like it was going out of style. So,
Yep.
yep.
Not including the
All
cooking.
right, what you got up next?
Up next is this.
Is it an
I
article?
probably will have to enlarge it.
Okay, you enlarge it, and I will be situated in 1 second. And I believe
Alrighty.
this is the last of our articles. Is that correct for
Nope, one
today?
more after this.
One more after this. And again, we're trying to clean out the vault, people, so bear with us. We have stuff in various locations, thanks to me. But It's getting organized. We'll get there. So,
Oh, yeah.
all right. What do we got? We have the Trump administration calls this ice spotting app reckless, but it's a classic form of protest. Is the ice spotting app really reckless and irresponsible, or is it just bringing some much needed accountability to law enforcement? This is from July the 3rd. This also has changed just a tad. So go ahead, scroll up, Crazy Bee. Give me 1 second.
Yep. Catch your breath.
Growing up in New York City, snitches get stitches was a phrase I heard often, from playgrounds to movies and in adult conversations I had no business being privy to. Snitching never had a positive connotation, understandably. But a highly scrutinized new app proves that sounding the horn to protect someone vulnerable is a historic form of protest, and it's not going anywhere. The HuffPost is committed to fearlessly covering the Trump administration. They have a click here to become a member.
Nope. I'll
ICE,
pass.
ICEBLOCK is a crowdsourcing platform designed to inform and warn communities of the presence of ICE agents. The app functions as a defensive response to a recently revived up ICE raids while also shedding light on the power of collective and strategic information sharing. For all those reasons, it's making the Trump administration big mad. Officially launched this past April, IceBlock came under fire this week when White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and acting ICE Director Todd M. Lyons released an official statement critiquing a CNN covering the app. Scroll back down a little, Crazy Bee.
Oops. My hand
Okay,
is.
you're
I gotta
okay.
let go of the mouse.
Okay. Um, go back up down a little. Okay, so okay. Uh,
You
covering
left
the
off.
with
The,
quotes from its founder Joshua Aaron. The statement refers to CNN's coverage as an advertisement for an app that basically paints a target on federal law enforcement officers' back. It feels a little hypocritical to talk about ICE agents as targets to me, but okay. Since the statement was released on Monday, IceBlock reportedly rose to the top of Apple's App Store and had over 95,000 users, I mean.
yeah.
Yeah, can't read, can't write, can't
We
cite
talk
the.
about the kids needing to learn to read.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. It starts at the top from the the grandparent to the parent to the
Hey,
child.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm. Trump officials got a lesson in the Streisand effect, whereby attempts to suppress information only circulate it further, as their outrage over Ice Block, Robert McCoy wrote in the New Republic. And now the Trump administration doing what they do is threatening CNN with legal action. While Kristi Noem and them might see this app as a form of snitching on law enforcement, it actually increases agents' accountability. In many ways, chiming in on it can restore a sense of power to residents. I know I'm not alone when I say Donald Trump's second term has had me fighting off feelings of hopelessness on a daily basis. Every day, our social feeds are inundated with updates about policy proposals that would hurt our well being, whether they are cuts to gender affirming care, give me a break, or the potential loss of social benefits, give me a break, to thousands of people who rely on them to get by. But for me, masked ICE agents hunting down students, mothers, fathers, and anyone they deemed illegal have been among the most disconcerting things to watch.
Wait, didn't the
Give me a
DOJ
break.
go after parents during
Mm-hmm.
parent-teacher conferences a couple of
Mm.
years ago?
And yeah, and the grandmothers,
J6?
yeah, and the grandmothers outside the abortion clinics. But
Uh-huh.
why is it that BLM and Antifa were allowed to wear masks and that was okay?
I know.
Yeah,
Only criminals can wear masks these
right.
days?
Correct.
Nah.
So
Sorry.
crowds,
And
yeah,
besides, wait a
go
minute.
ahead.
What about the whole COVID? I mean, isn't that still a
Right.
thing? They need to wear masks for COVID.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. So crowdsourcing apps are a reminder that great there's great power to watching each other's backs. Aaron cited his Jewish upbringing as a guiding light for the app. I had the chance to meet Holocaust survivors and learn the history of what happened in Nazi Germany and the parallels that we can draw between what's happening right now in our own country and Hitler's rise to power are undeniable, he said in an interview with NBC News. Give
Hitler went
me,
after legal citizens who lived in Germany. They were not there illegally. They did not cross the border illegally. That is a completely different comparison.
give me an MFing break. Really? That's what we're going by? Where? How? Who?
It's not even
Yeah,
remotely close.
exactly.
Not
Wow.
even remotely close.
We might have to go back up Crazy B and see if we can click on and get anything on that interview, okay? When this is
Okay.
done. Alright. The truth is, it's a grand American tradition to protect each other against what we deem immoral behavior from authority figures. It's even more specifically Black American tradition, as marked by the Black Panthers and by enslaved people who use coded language to share pertinent information related to organizing escapes and other acts of resistance. Okay, because everybody else was stupid and didn't know how to make, you know, I thought Indians had, uh,
Smoke signals and
smoke
stuff. I
signals.
mean,
Yeah,
come on.
uh-huh. Okay. Art said, yeah, what did he say about the Germans?
Geez, the German socialist reference from the 30s is getting really old.
Uh-huh, yeah, it is.
That is an understatement
Right.
these days.
And so while the Trump administration bristles at people's attempts to mobilize, the active community care will continue to evolve along with technology that fuels it. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay,
But
click on
let's
that. Yeah, go back up, see if you get a hit on the interview.
um it should be showing.
Okay. I just want to see, is there a, yeah, what you call it, hickey doodle?
I'm looking. There's no video,
No
but
video?
there is this,
Okay,
which is
so
his quote.
Joshua Aaron, IceBlock's Texas-based developer, called the administration's recent criticism another right-wing, fear-mongering scare tactic, telling NBC News in a phone interview on Tuesday that his app was designed to be a resource for immigrants who are fearful they will get deported. He said he felt like he was watching history repeat itself when he saw things like 5-year-olds in courtrooms with no representation and college students being disappeared for their political opinions.
No one's being disappeared, they're being deported.
When I saw what was happening in this country, I really just wanted to do something to help fight back, said Aaron, a one time musician who spent several months working on the app. I grew up in a Jewish household, and being part of the Jewish community, I had had the chance to meet Holocaust survivors and learn the history of what happened in Nazi Germany and the parallels that we can draw between what's happening right now in our own country and Hitler's rise to power are undeniable. This is just freaking unbelievable.
Yeah. This is just insane.
95,000 users.
Art says most people don't know that the German leader was never elected. No, he wiped out the previous leaders
Mm-hmm.
or they disappeared like these college students, well, worse, the literal disappeared in
Right.
order for him to gain power. Yes, there was no election. So it was a military takeover, aka a coup.
Correct. This is knowing that they have an app out there that is telling them when ICE is coming is very alarming.
Yep, I don't like it.
I mean, the chances of ambush are high. Uh, Altercations, they have no idea what they're walking into.
Exactly.
You know, it's sad. All right, what do you
That
got
it
next?
is. Last article. This is also from you. Oh, basically the same thing.
Okay, we'll just put this in the show notes.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, but from which article? Where's this from? NDTV.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, they have a
Okay.
quick read summary, but it's AI, and I don't like AI. So yeah, y'all
Right.
can go read that. If you so choose. So we don't keep reading the same info.
Right. What's next then, Crazy B?
Next would be our media share
Okay.
of this video. Um, I did edit quite a bit out because there was like this longer segment of people just screaming and wailing, and
Mm-hmm.
it got on my nerves, so I cut it out.
Okay.
But other than that, here. Let's just watch. It's 7 minutes long.
All right, folks. So, yep, pretty much like I said it, the bill passed, and now here comes the Democrat response.
This group of people dressed in black gathered at dawn outside the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan, staging a 1-hour demonstration in mourning and resistance for what they say was to reject the spectacle of sentimental patriotism and deadly militarism.
Yup, here we go again, the same frickin' loop that I keep talking about. Let's call it the doom loop. A thing has happened, and therefore it's the end of the world. It's the end of democracy. The sky is falling. We got Democrats holding candlelight vigils, and the rhetoric, even from top Democrats, has reached the point where they're telling us that Trump's big beautiful bill is going to cause mass death. I'm not even joking. Apparently the bill's so bad that we got James Carville telling us that just the simple passage of this bill will lead to a mass extinction event for the GOP. I don't know what the hell these people are talking about, but of course the only thing I'm thinking
What's
is
up,
that this
Eric?
kind of exaggerated
Okay, hold on.
doomsday lingo.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Eric called. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
can't find where to mic my mute.
you want me to mute you?
No, I'm okay now. It's good.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about
Is
that.
what the Democrats are all about, and boy is it just not meeting the moment. You know, things are going relatively well right now in the country. Actually, it feels like there's finally a little bit of stability and some positive future outlook for the first time in a very long time, and that's really the moment that Democrats ought to be trying to meet, but instead, we get these acts of devastation. There's actually a viral AI photo by the Daily Caller that's currently blasting all over social media, and I think really it makes the point in perfect visual form. Hakeem Jeffries on his knees, pleading to the gods on the House floor. It's a cold, sad day in America, as illegals have now been taken off of Medicaid, and able-bodied people have to actually work and can't just stay at home on SSRIs all day, collecting free healthcare and food stamps. I mean, this photo right here captures the energy perfectly. It's the AOC in front of a fence energy. It's all over. But there's a problem with this strategy. It's the boy who cried wolf strategy. They scream about the end of the world, and then, well, regular people who don't live in some MSNBC fantasy, they walk outside and, well, I mean, utter confusion. It's the fall of democracy. Donald Trump's Gestapo is hunting down anybody in the streets with any pigment in their skin. But then you walk outside and, well, things seem pretty normal. In fact, things seem kinda good. You know, everything with these Democrats is either manufactured outrage, dramatic theatrics, performance of outrage. It's either that, which actually there's another word for, or it's just lying, or just some ridiculous manipulative gaslight or guilt trip tactic. The one we probably see the most often are gems like this. If you
He's literally hitting the nail on the head with this one.
Mm-hmm.
These people are morons. And yet, we do give them the right to continue being morons. And as Art says, by the way, we're not a democracy. We never were, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I'm so sick of hearing that. We're a democracy. No, the hell we aren't.
That's funny.
Oh, oh my God. It's like, but we allow idiots to be idiots because they're human and they have the right to be an idiot if they so choose.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
Just because
Well,
they're idiots doesn't mean they don't have the right to make themselves look even more like an idiot.
yeah, I had somebody come back at me yesterday on a live chat that was, they were upset that I had deleted messages from a subscriber. And they said, "Oh my gosh, is this nasty?" Hold on. They gave us the wrong packaging and I didn't send it back. So it is diet, green tea, pineapple, mango.
Ew.
Ooh is putting it for. Okay, hold on. We got to sip it again. Ooh, it's disgusting.
Yep. Probably
It's
no
just.
fixing it by adding something else, is there?
Oh, well, what do you want me to add? It's already got the green tea, the pineapple, and the mango in it. What do I take to counteract that? Ugh. Ugh.
I don't know. Something not citric
Hmm.
or tropical?
I got bottles of this too. I could send up the house.
Yep. Let them
Mm-hmm.
drink it. Oh, Art had to add to this. Well, you can't blame them because we quit teaching civics a long time ago. Not physics, civics.
See?
Yes, I
There's.
absolutely agree. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Art says maybe add vodka. LOL.
Mmm.
You don't forget about that taste really quick.
Yeah,
About two
yeah, there
shots
we
in.
go. Yeah, that might just
Oh,
work.
JJ is now a monthly supporter. Thank you, JJ.
Oh,
Much
thank you. That's so
love.
sweet. Thank you, our first supporter. Oh, we love you. Thank
Much
you very much.
love.
That's awesome. Our first person, well, you know how you take $1 bill? We'll have to take them and hang them somewhere. Not
Yep.
literally, but
Yeah.
figuratively.
Yeah. Put it in a plaque or something
Yes,
or in
that's
a
cool.
frame. That's
Awesome. Thank you
awesome.
so much, JJ. We appreciate you and love you. All right. So
I
where
think
are
you
we next?
I agree with the add the vodka to it. We still have
Yes,
7 minutes to go.
definitely.
We
I
still
need
have
the
five
vodka.
minutes.
Yeah, because there's
And we
12 bottles of this and it's not going to go well.
Yeah, a little bit of vodka, you'll forget about that
Mm-hmm.
taste. You'll be
And
feeling
sleep well, too.
good.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Just
Uh-huh.
wait till baby JJ goes home and you
Right.
will
And
be
then I could
feeling
start there like
much
right now.
better. Yep.
What am I supposed to be doing after this? I'm supposed to be doing
Sleeping.
something. Am I? I'm
You
supposed to be
should.
doing something.
I don't
Hmm.
know. You'll
Eric,
figure it out.
I don't know, Eric, but he better get home. He's got to take the dog. I did tell you we took the dog to the vet, and it is the cancer is spread. So his
Yes, you told
days,
me. I don't know about everybody
yeah,
else.
his they had told us 18 months ago he would be dead within a month or two, and he's lasted 18 months. So he's still running around here like he's a puppy. But they never gave him any of his shots while he was there. So I called and I'm like, well, why not? I told you, give him his shots and clip his nails. They clipped his nails, but they didn't give him his shots.
Well, he's end of life. So
But the
is
camp,
there a point to prevent rabies if
yes,
he's already dying?
yes,
Oh yeah,
ma'am. The
rabies is
campground
miserable.
requires it if they take him up to camp.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
See, we didn't take Hunter out very
Yeah.
often. and he was mostly homebody, dog in the backyard, having fun, being a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go very often with us to the stores or anything, or any dog parks, stuff like that.
Right.
So
Right.
there wasn't a need. I, of course, always kept up with the rabies, but that was the ones, the rest of them, it's like he doesn't really go around these critters. So there's not much reason for getting him anything like that. He's not around dogs, so I don't have to worry about him getting parvo or anything like that. So, we didn't really bother towards the end, especially even with the rabies, because he wasn't really getting out. So the last year that he was alive, we didn't even bother with it because it was that bad. We just diapered and put out doggy mats. He was good about it, though. Anywho, let's hit play.
If you voted for this, remove all the Jesus stuff from your bio immediately. If you don't support mass migration, then
Oh
you're
my
not
God.
a Christian. Then they post videos like this where parents are being deported. Just a pathetic attempt to guilt trip and gaslight instead of making an actual argument. It's complete garbage. Cut the freaking crap with this holier than thou TikTok propaganda and just the excessive nature of all the left-wing activism. They make it seem like people being deported are being taken to some sort of sea-salt volcano in El Salvador and just thrown in as if it's the end of their lives. But the reality is these people are just being relocated back to their home. For the most part, the violent thugs, of course, are ending up in sea-salt, but regular people that are facing deportation and families that are being sent back, they're being sent back home, rightfully so. Can we stop pretending as if these people are being sent to their inevitable demise? No, they know what they signed up for, and they're simply facing the consequences of their actions. And at the end of the day, there has to be consequences, because if there aren't, well then what's going to stop people from continuing to defy federal law and unleashing chaos on American streets and putting a massive strain on American social services? At the end of the day, it's very simple. There's actually a very simple fix here. It's called self-deportation.
He was only 16 when he arrived in San Francisco in 2007 in search of opportunities. But after all these years, he's still undocumented. And now he says it's time to go back to Yucatan, Mexico, on his own terms, and not in handcuffs, as he's recently seen happen to others on the news.
The way that they're being detained, it's unfair because they've been treated like animals. We only come to this country to work. We don't come to look for problems.
For Victor, this goodbye is bittersweet. He doesn't want to leave, but says he also has family waiting for him back home, including a son who he last saw as a baby.
So now I need to go back to Mexico because I have my family there. My mom is old, so I not see it for a long time. And then my son too, I not see it for a long time.
For Victor, he says, it's time to put his life and family first.
Mil veces.
1,000 times. Go see your family, because you
All right.
never know what could happen. Today I'm here telling you this, but I don't know what could happen.
Victor has booked a one-way ticket for this month. He says he did speak to an immigration attorney of the possibility of continuing his humanitarian visa process in Mexico. It's unclear how many immigrants have self-deported, but employment numbers show about 1 million foreign-born workers have.
Oh, he speaks very good English.
Mm-hmm.
He's been here since he was 16. There is no way in God's green earth that man does not speak a word of English.
Agreed.
He speaks good English. He is using it for the tearjerker.
Okay.
And Art says, because this actually pertains to these two things, what the heck does my religion have to do with immigration, particularly illegal immigration? And I'm not a Christian anyway. I feel you. I do. It has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with religion, if you think about it. You came here illegally. What part of that do you not understand? Illegally. Capsed. And I'm sure if it was able to be bolded and italicized, it would. People really are losing it over this.
Right.
And again, yeah, Jesus said help the needy. He didn't say allow them to come in and ruin your neighborhoods and destroy things the way they've been doing.
Right.
He didn't say
Crazy
to allow them
B,
to bring
will
in the
you-
cartels.
Yeah, Crazy B, I'm going to dip out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Bye, hon.
Bye. So, Yeah, this is absolute nonsense. Let's try to get through the last 2 minutes or so, and then I have another video to share. Hopefully Dee will be back by then. Let's continue.
Have exited the workforce since March.
You don't want to end up in cuffs? You don't want to put your kids through a traumatic event? Well, you might have made a bad choice. Don't make another one. Fix it. Self-deport so you don't become the target of an ICE raid. That's what happens when you break the law. And my message to you left-wingers, with all the theatrics, all the gaslighting, and all the emotional nonsense, if you think your little guilt trip pity party here is accomplishing what you're hoping, well, I got some news for you. It's not.
So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deported all immigrants who are here illegally, 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters. We'll take a look at that ABC News question in particular because you can really see that there's been a massive shift from when Trump was first getting into office 8 years ago, right? Deport all undocumented immigrants. You go back to 2015, I'm going to come to your side of the screen, it was 42%. Hello. Go to 2016, it was 36%. Look at where we are now. This was taken at the end of last year, 56%. This is 20 points higher than it was just before Trump got into office the first time. Feelings towards immigration in this country, feelings towards undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them have become considerably more hawkish, and I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people and sort of have these hawkish, some might say harsh, different rhetoric and also issue-based sort of going after immigrants who are here illegally. Want immigration levels decreased. This includes legal and illegal immigration. Look at this. Last year, 55%.
And this, again, legal and illegal. So they want, people want less people coming into the country.
Exactly. They want less people coming into the country.
People want secure borders. The people want deportations, period. The American people are done playing this game. Absolutely frickin' done. And no amount of screeching in the streets is going to change that. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this.
Yeah, so that's that. And I agree. I'm not so opposed to legal migration, but the illegals, yeah, peace out. I'm not playing that game. That's a no-no. I'm done with that. I just can't deal with all the illegals coming across, all the drugs coming across, all of that nonsense coming across. It's got to stop. Jumping into the next one. Something from Clarence Thomas. This was sent over a while ago. I don't really remember the full details of it. It is a longer video. We may or may not be able to finish it today. But we'll at least get through it. I'll take a note of when we left off, and we can always pick it up tomorrow. So let's take a listen to this and see what Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court had to say. People have had a problem with illegal immigration since Reagan's amnesty back in the 80s. It's the politicians who think it's a good thing. Yeah, I know. The everyday civilian does not approve of this, but the politicians seem to think they do. What are we supposed to do? Well, we just suck it up and try our best to get through it, right? All right. Oh, we're hitting play on this Clarence Thomas statement.
Right.
It's a 21-minute video, so if we don't get through it today, there is tomorrow to finish it off.
Okay.
So, 21 minutes and 56 seconds. Here we go.
We can
Clarence
guarantee
Thomas
that'll be
on the Supreme
tomorrow.
Court not happy
shit.
with the.
It's okay.
Let me transition it so y'all can see it too.
And I just said I guarantee.
Oh, I forgot to transition it over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court, not happy with the majority opinion, filed this scathing dissent saying that they are making up due process and this liberty interest out of whole cloth. It came from their imaginations back during an earlier era of the court, and the court is now perverting it. This case relates to death penalty criminal defendant, but there was another big case this morning that also dropped in the case of Medina versus Planned Parenthood of the South Atlantic. And this woman, Alliance Defending Freedom, is celebrating this victory from SCOTUS that came down and said that states, in this case, South Carolina, can block Medicaid money from going to Planned Parenthood. The abortion Walmart says here, states can block the country's biggest abortion provider from getting that Medicaid money, that government money. The 6-3 opinion, it was written by Justice Neil Gorsuch and joined by the rest of the court's conservatives, was not directly even about abortion. It closes off their primary path, though, to keep their funding in place, which is the lawsuit. They said you can't really sue about this. The justices said that while the Medicaid law allows people to choose their provider, you can go choose, you can't sue to get that right to a provider, because then everybody could sue and everybody would just say, well, I want this provider, and the government would have to respond and just give them that. The court split along ideological lines. 3 liberals love abortion. Public health care money generally cannot be used to pay for abortions, but they go there for a bunch of other reasons, they say. Yeah. Governor Henry McMaster, a Republican, said that Planned Parenthood should not get any taxpayer money, and the budget-backed bill by the president would also cut a bunch of money to that group. And so they were very happy about this ruling, and here is what Alliance Defending Freedom had to say in celebration.
Today, we're celebrating a major victory. The U.S. Supreme Court just ruled in favor of South Carolina, freeing states to redirect taxpayer dollars away from abortion businesses like Planned Parenthood. States are no longer forced to fund big abortion. Planned Parenthood's primary business is abortion, performing over 400,000 abortions in just 1 year. And it's the second largest provider of dangerous gender transition drugs in the U.S., even giving them to minors across the country. Planned Parenthood is a multi-billion activist organization with a track record of putting radical abortion and gender identity politics over people. Planned Parenthood doesn't need American taxpayer dollars. South Carolina has given us the roadmap. Let's defund Planned Parenthood now.
Let's do it! Great video, so thank you for that, Alliance Defending Freedom. And Planned Parenthood is like a monolith of the left, right? They set up these institutions like abortion institutions and all these like defending democracy institutions and all this, the internet disinformation governance societies and all these things in order to control the populace. And Planned Parenthood was getting tons of government money under the guise of healthcare to prop up a major cultural icon for the Democratic Party. And now the Supreme Court said, no, don't get to do that anymore. And they're very unhappy about this. This is what they sounded like today as Elizabeth Warren was trying to really raise a ruckus on this in the Senate.
You are the chief medical officer of Planned Parenthood Great Rivers in Missouri. So just explain to us, where will your patients go if more Planned Parenthood locations are closed?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And the answer is there is nowhere for them to go. So we are part of the safety net. And while there are other providers that are part of the safety net as well, they are overwhelmed. And so there is nowhere in St. Louis or in the Ozarks or in Southern Illinois that can absorb the patients that we care for on a daily basis. So again, what I think will happen is there will be longer waiting times. Diagnoses will be delayed. Again, cancer diagnoses, infection diagnoses.
Everyone's going to die because government is not paying for abortions. We got it. So very unhappy about that over there, and a nice victory for the conservatives on the court and for our country, saying you don't have to fund these medical operations or these entities that provide those. And we like to see that. So here is what also came down from the Supreme Court. You saw this one. Ruben Gutierrez versus Luis Saenz in the Supreme Court. And what I'd like to start with today is the dissent, because Judge Clarence Thomas is going to flesh out everything that the majority talked about anyways as he shreds it in time. So let's start here. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court judge, writing for the Supreme Court in the dissent, part of the entity, the branch of the government or the section of the government that is in the losing half. In a 6-3 decision, we've got 3 judges in the minority, Thomas, Alito, and another one. Now here is what Thomas wrote. He says, first of all, I'm joining Judge Alito. This case this involves a death penalty case. I agree that Ruben Gutierrez lacks standing to bring a federal lawsuit alleging that Texas and their post-DNA rules violate due process. Okay, so Ruben sues someone in Texas who is denying him the right to test some DNA evidence. Texas says you have no right to test that DNA evidence. He says you're violating my due process. He writes separately to emphasize, though, says Clarence Thomas, that this court has no business intervening in this case in the first place, writing the Constitution does not require any state, Texas or any of them, to establish procedures for state prisoners to challenge the validity of their convictions after the trial. So Clarence Thomas is looking to the Constitution and saying, wait a minute, he's suing, saying he's got a right to something. Where's that right come from? But his lawsuit is resting on the premise of the 14th Amendment, the Due Process Clause. It gives him this magical liberty interest that we've been talking about here for months now. Judges, 14th Amendment, due process. You got plenty of due process. No, he needs more. What? He got hearings. He got written court orders. Judges reviewed all the evidence. People testified. He needs more because they just don't want him to leave. So they keep manufacturing these things. Clarence Thomas gets rid of it. He says, now that premise cannot be squared with any actual reading of the due process clause. And so therefore, I disagree. And our intervention serves no other purpose than to just exacerbate. And when it comes to...
So basically, they're dragging this shit out as long as they can because assholes.
Why not?
And it's costing us money every single day.
That's putting it mildly, how much money it cost.
Like, I mean, I got a headache. So me trying to wrap my head around why this guy needs even more due process. What more due process is there?
He got something, I'll tell you that. All right, my turn. My turn.
All right, let me hit play.
Comes to death penalty cases, a lot of people will say, well, why would we want to imprison them for the rest of our lives and pay for that? And what you end up finding is that the statistics show that it's way more expensive to put somebody on death row by a factor of like 10 to 20 times because they got all these appeals. Special stuff. So anyways, the point is they take forever. This is just going to make it a lot longer. Now, the Texas Constitution provides that capital defendants have a right to a trial by jury. Texas likes to use this provision. Now, it provides that after a defendant is convicted, he might file an appeal. They already allow prisoners who were sentenced to death to challenge their conviction. They can file a petition for habeas corpus and do a bunch of things. But even if the prisoner trial was error-free, he can also still file. Now, upon the motion, the convicting court may order testing if certain conditions are met for DNA evidence. He wanted DNA evidence. The rules say you can get it if we have it. Now, upon his motion, the convicting court may order testing if certain conditions are met, including...
Well, and I've heard there are so many cases right now of people who had been sentenced to death and then like years later they find out they were completely innocent. And so I get that argument. But what the fudge? Like, it's not every single person who's been on death row. It's just, one here, one there, but it still adds up. And so I'm weighing the pros and cons of this in my head. And it's like, where do we draw the lines with appeals? Should we maybe put a set limit on appeals?
Yes.
Like, you're only allowed 4 appeals. You better have your shit in a row. If that makes any sense. Art ads. Be tested. That makes sense. It's logical. But, like, these people that keep doing this over and over and over again, it's getting out of hand. What the fudge just happened with our chat? That was so weird. It just cycled to the top and then quickly cycled back to the bottom.
The feds.
The feds are scrolling through too?
Yeah, they want to make sure that you're factually accurate in your comments.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's keep hit and play. Try to get through more.
Including that the evidence still exists, that he can show he would not have been convicted, and he can show he's not bringing the motion to just delay the execution. If they obtain DNA testing, then they can use their results to support their habeas petitions. Now, what happened here, those are the rules. A Texas jury convicted this guy, Gutierrez, sentenced him to death in 1998 for the robbery and unaliving of this woman called Escolastica Harrison. Having thrice failed to obtain DNA testing under the law, he now claims that my due process is being violated. So to make sense of these claims, writes Clarence Thomas, we must first understand what rights the due process clause protects in the first place. The clause says, no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, right? And that phrase has been perverted in so many ways it's unrecognizable now. But in other words, the states cannot decide to take away an individual's life, liberty, or property unless it adheres to certain procedures, a process that they are due for that issue. But the due process clause does not protect all rights. It says life, liberty, and property. That's it. Thus, the first step in any due process analysis is to determine whether the right that they're asserting fits within one of those buckets. And if it doesn't fit in one of the buckets, then due process doesn't apply. Now, by seeking to execute Gutierrez and to imprison him, Texas is definitely trying to deprive him of his life and liberty because they're going to eliminate him. But Gutierrez does not base his due process claim on either one of those deprivations at all, because he has received far more than the process even required to justify them. Under our precedents, Texas must conduct a trial before it can imprison or execute somebody. They did. But a state is not required to provide a right to appellate review. They don't have to give you that right. And nor does it need to provide post-conviction relief, which is even further removed. They do. Now, Texas thus gave him, at his 1999 trial, everything that he needed. Like, it's done. The ensuing quarter century of direct and collateral review back since 1999, it's over, has been ongoing for 26 years. Now, he instead asserts, he says, I have a distinct liberty interest. He says, actually, Texas came in. So it's not life, liberty, or property that he's complaining about. It's not in his pleadings. He's actually saying it's something different. My right that's being violated is the state-created right to post-conviction relief, which is what a lot of states have. Arizona has it. After you're convicted, let's say you go to trial, you present evidence, cop testifies, you're convicted, you go to jail. Then we learned, oh, that cop's a liar. He testified, lied under oath, committed perjury. You found some other evidence, he's a liar. Do you have to serve out the term? No, because now you can go say, well, there's new facts, file a petition for post-conviction relief. This judgment should be set aside. Here are the reasons why. Explain it and undo that, right? And then go after that cop. But the point is, you can create that, and a lot of states have mechanisms for reopening cases after the conclusion of a case. And he says, since they've created that, I have this right now under the 14th Amendment. So in his view, part of the liberty that Texas prisoners enjoy under the 14th Amendment is a right to obtain relief pursuant to their habeas statutes, and says, I've got a bunch of liberty interests here. But Clarence Thomas responds. He says the 14th Amendment does not protect his asserted so-called liberty interest, all right? As originally understood, liberty in the 14th Amendment likely referred only to freedom from physical restraint. That's it. It did not include entitlements to government-created benefits. That's not what liberty means. Like you get free health care from the government and you can sue for that. This court's contrary precedent stems from a conscious, policy-based rejection of due process. Due process doesn't mean what we think it means because they perverted it so much. The original meaning of liberty in the 14th Amendment was likely far narrower than our court currently holds. It originally appears to have referred only to freedom from physical restraint. But in the Lochner era, which was this era during the Supreme Court, the court began to hold that liberty includes fundamental rights generally. So they just tucked a bunch of stuff into the due process clause. Well, it includes this, and includes abortion, includes right to privacy, includes all these things. The court has since adhered to that. And they said, well, it kind of makes sense. Sounds good. Now, as with any legal text, we must look at the law, original and the ordinary meaning of its terms. When the court just says, well, you know what, actually now due process means a bunch of this other crap without Congress passing that law, that is a judicial expansion of some sort of power or limitation. And we don't want that. That's not how our system is set up. So Clarence Thomas is pushing back, saying when the 14th Amendment was actually adopted in 1868, its due process clause was understood to embody an old principle dating back to the Magna Carta. That provided that a free man may not be prosecuted in prison or destroyed, except by the law of the land. A century later, law of the land stated that no man shall be put to death or imprisoned without due process of the law. Back in 1354, The second part of that was by due process of the common law. Now, Blackstone referred to Magna Carta's law of the land in a different dictionary, and liberty in the Fifth Amendment that we passed likely refers only to the freedom from physical restraint. That's it. Blackstone defined the right of personal liberty as the power of locomotion, the changing situation, removing one's person to whatever place one's own inclination may direct, without imprisonment, restraint, unless by due course of law. So a bunch of different definitions. Now, if the Fifth Amendment uses liberty in a narrow sense, then the 14th Amendment does too, because it's basically applying the Fifth Amendment, incorporating that power to the states. So it was not until later, writes Clarence Thomas, until the Lochner era, when this court adopted a much broader and expansive term of liberty. During that period, stretching from 1897 to 1937, this court relied on the legal fiction of this made-up thing called substantive due process. We have like due process, well, there's...
So summing this up, 90% of these state laws are unconstitutional. And these state things. Am I right? It really sounds like most of these state processes are unconstitutional. And anyone who wants to be a jackass can fight it because it's not by the original meanings of the Constitution, if they wanted to be like that. Oh, dear God. My head hurts already. Oh, Art said, the problem with conservatives on court is they tend to side with the government more than I like. Yeah, they tend to not give the states so much freedom as they should. But yeah, I might be misunderstanding all of this because I really am not feeling good right now. But yeah, it sounds a lot like this dude is literally going for a stretch.
Well, there's procedural and now there's substantive. So procedural due process is about the process that you go through. Was the procedure right? Did you get notice? Did you have an opportunity for a hearing? Did the paperwork get sent to your address and you read it and all the things? Like, was the process valid? And it's the same for everybody and it wasn't biased for you? Great. You have procedural due process. So then they expanded it and they're like, well, substantive due process is about these other rights that are being violated that we're just also going to act on. And it's not necessarily about the process, but it's about what's happening to the person. It's the substance of what you're complaining about. And they just expanded it. Now, under that fiction, the due process clauses forbade all government infringement on certain fundamental liberty interests, no matter what process was involved or provided. And you might listen to that. Well, maybe these are fundamental interests and rights. Maybe we don't want the government impeding on these fundamental infringements on certain fundamental liberty interests. But you see, it's been perverted. It's from like this negative liberty into this positive liberty. In one sense, you are saying the government cannot do these things, but in another sense, people are now suing and saying, well, I have a liberty interest in this, so I should be able to go get it. Not that the government is not going to do the thing, but that the government should give me the thing or do the thing for me. To make this new fiction work, the court reinterpreted the clause's guarantee of process to encompass substance, a notion that strains credulity for even the most casual users of words. Writing, the court's embrace, Clarence Thomas, of substantive due process is also requiring it to jettison the concept of liberty as only freedom from restraint so that it could encompass other rights that the court deemed to be fundamental.
It's the same type of thing that can be done. I'm sorry. It's the same type of thing that can be done here, and it's how far and how much do you want to know, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like with the dog, we know exactly how bad things are and how things are going to progress and the expectations and all of that. But as a human, I think we do a very bad job in kind of relaying that information back and forth and what's, you know, best for a person or a patient. I don't know, but that's another topic that we'll be discussing, and that is means, which is Canadians' right to, as long as they are of sound mind and they have a doctor as well as a nurse practitioner accompany them, then it can go in the microwave and be heated up for about, I'd say 17 seconds, 15 seconds. But we'll have some more information on that next week.
Alrighty. Art also adds, I'd have to read the actual decision because both sides matter. Jay Thomas may be right, or he could be narrowing the decision to fine for the government. That is a possibility on this as well. All right, let's try to get through a little bit more. And then we'll call it and do our typical outing stuff.
Like a woman's fundamental right to choose, made up by the courts. This court's first substantive due process decision under the 14th Amendment, the court for the first time broadened the definition of liberty to include freedom of contract, tracing the interpretation of liberty through the 14th Amendment and more. Now, by the height of the Lochner era, the court had stretched the term to cover those privileges long recognized in common law and essential to the orderly pursuit of happiness by free men. Sounds amazing, right? Now, these privileges included the right of the individual to contract, to engage in any of the common occupations of life, to acquire useful knowledge, to marry, to establish a home, to bring up children. You have the right to contract, right? And it gets perverted into now you've got the right for the government to help you do these things. To worship God according to the dictates. Now, this court eventually repudiated this muscular version of substantive due process, at least for economic rights. And so this has been a battle for a while. Now, Gutierrez says, I have a state-created liberty interest. They said I could sue, and so I'm filing my lawsuit now. Now, founding era Americans shared another understanding of liberty. The Lockean idea, John Locke, the idea of civil liberty as natural liberty is constrained by human law. The understanding of liberty as a natural right persisted until the 14th Amendment. Now, even as the court expanded the notion of liberty, it remained faithful to the idea of liberty as individual freedom from government action, not as a right to a particular government entitlement. None of the liberties enumerated in other cases could be characterized as state-created benefits, right? They were limiting the government. To the contrary, even when interpreting the due process clauses, the court distinguished between the rights inherent to the individual and the privileges established by the government, and they were trying to kind of splice this in different ways in that era. The court recognized that a prisoner's entitlement to early release was a privilege that comes as an act of grace to one convicted of a crime. It's not a right protected by the due process clause, right? So that's how they kind of spliced it. They said, well, it's privileges versus rights. They were adding a bunch of stuff that wasn't there. Now, in short, entitlements established by the government cannot be liberty under the due process clause. Liberty interest is not even valid. His claim rests on the legitimacy of his due process claim. He's relying on another case, but Clarence Thomas says that case is crap. Even this other Charles professor guy in the 1960s who went to Yale talked about this, and he's going to give us some background from that dude. And Osborne also relied on it. And so we should correct this error, says Clarence Thomas. Texas has voluntarily chosen to prioritize claims of actual innocence at a significant cost to its interest in finality. Now, thanks in no small part to decisions of this court, capital cases, death penalty cases today are routinely plagued by decades-long delays between sentencing and execution. They cost millions of dollars, very costly in terms of time and resources. Now, by recognizing a liberty interest in Texas's post-conviction procedures, this court, he's in the dissent right now, has converted those procedures from a means of vindicating actual claims of innocence. Now it's just a tool of obstruction. And we don't need to look any further than this case and to see exactly how this guy is obstructing the outcome. 26 years after the brutal murder of Escolastica, this court stayed the execution. Why? 26 years. Is he like developing a nuclear weapon or something? Why? Not because Gutierrez has made a compelling allegation of innocence. Rather, the court stayed the execution because we had a question about standing. Does he have standing to sue? There was every reason to think the ultimate claims of actual innocence is absolutely baseless. The key premise that he hopes on that the DNA is going to help him with is to say that he was not inside the home when that woman was stabbed to death. But that's contradicted by the actual evidence in the case. He confessed it, to say nothing of the unanimous statements of his accomplices as well. And we have held 3 times in Texas that Gutierrez would likely still...
So dude was guilty, obviously guilty, admitted he was guilty, and now wants to complain about it.
Correct. Because, you know,
he's
he had
a moron.
To change a heart.
Oh. Well, thank God there's only like 4 minutes left, because what the fudge.
All right,
still have had been convicted.
Then, no matter if we go over or not.
Just a few minutes, because there's like literally just over 4 minutes, I think. Right around 4 minutes. So
sounds good.
Yep, let's get through it.
of capital murder, even if he was not inside the home. So it doesn't even matter. DNA can show it either way. They already gave him process. Again, more due process. And he would lose anyways. And in his most recent motion, the trial court explicitly found that he made the motion for the purpose of delaying the execution of his sentence. Okay, so the determined that we're done with him. And if this is what states can expect when they create new post-conviction avenues, they may conclude that it's just not worth it because the Supreme Court is going to say that they get endless rights. Now, his suit rests on non-existent liberty interest. The Due Process Clause protects people from government interference. It does not guarantee an entitlement to government benefits like Texas's voluntarily adopted post-conviction procedures. In other words, you're not entitled to that outcome. By intervening to revive this suit, this court facilitates this unjustified delay, and that is why I, Clarence Thomas, respectfully dissent. And so, Clarence Thomas not happy about this. I thought this was a very instructive dissent here on due process and how the majority of the court is saying he can sue, he should be able to file a claim to go get that DNA evidence if he wants to before the death penalty is executed. And ultimately, I think this is a political decision mostly. I think that Amy Coney Barrett and Roberts are a little squeamish in the death penalty, and so they were in the majority. But Clarence Thomas, regardless of your position on the death penalty, is legally and logically accurate. It's right. The courts perverting the rules, reading into due process, whatever they want, is what got us here to this very problem. We're recovering today, these nationwide injunctions. Why did the judges grant the injunction? Because they say there will be harm to somebody. What is the harm? A violation of their due process. Okay, and so it's all made up. We get it. They've had plenty of due process. This guy's had due process for 26 years, and the court will default on the side of more process rather than less. And I think when you're talking about death penalty cases, it's also hard not to argue with that because death is final. And wouldn't you rather just say, well, we looked, the evidence said you were inside the building. Now you're done. Problem is, if he does get the DNA and it says that he was inside the building, he'll come up with something else and then he'll file another claim. And so if Texas says, even if you might disagree with...
Anyone remember that book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie?
Uh-huh. What happens?
My head hurts.
Cookie, cookie, cookie.
And then some milk, and then a nap, and then this, and then that.
I mean, it just... I like the way that this attorney breaks down the cases. He'll take the actual case itself from the Supreme Court and then break down his assessment of it. He has been raided numerous times. He has raided Lord Starling's channel, Common Censored, and I know that they're friends. This guy's a really good guy.
Okay, I did not know. Well, I usually end up passing out in and out through Common Censored, so I must have missed it.
Yeah, it's later.
But it's usually so late at night. I'm dead.
Yeah,
yes.
It's after bedtime, dear. But yeah, he's a good person to follow. I was really impressed. I had gone up several times to check him out, and they granted me a 1-month membership. And unfortunately, my position on memberships is I have a limited budget. I love all of you, but I can't possibly decide where my money would go. And right now, Crazy B and I are in the negative. So as much as I would like to give support to everybody, we just can't do it right now. So his content that he has that is for members only is extremely phenomenal. It's one of the most, what do I want to say? One of the most prepared or documented or has a lot of information on subject matter that I have yet to find anywhere else. In fact, I thought he was so worth it that if I could have scraped up a couple dollars to get to him, I would have, because his videos and that I think are more than well worth the breakdown of it. So that's my 2 cents on him. Crazy B, what do you know about him?
I've actually liked him because he covers a lot of things. just in general, any popular case that's hit the news, he'll break it down,
Right.
or even the possibilities of it. Because there's a massive lawsuit out there from Ethan Klein against a bunch of these Twitch streamers who would put up his videos and then walk off from their computers and leave it playing for like the hour-long video. And so he's hitting them with a copyright claim. Because unlike us, we stop it, we pause it, we put our 2 cents in, or we ask questions, we do something with it. They would
Okay.
just pop it on and walk off. And so he's got a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against like 4 or 5 different streamers right now. And this guy
What
actually did a
purpose
breakdown
would
on
that
whether this was
serve to do
possible.
that? Is there a reason behind it?
To teach them that they actually have to put forth an effort when they're streaming and not just stream other people's stuff and walk away
Right,
and
but
get
I
money
mean,
off of it.
why are the streamers doing it? Do you know?
Oh, because they get paid. They have millions of people watching them and subscribed and paying for it. They
Oh.
get paid big bucks, and they'll just play these videos and walk off.
Oh, I
Go get
see.
dinner. They'll eat while they'll eat, not interject, not do anything. They don't even pause it. They just leave it up. They literally have left the entire scene. They are out of their computer chair going to do something else.
Wow. That's
That
not
is
right.
not okay. And
No.
for the entire length of the video. No
Right.
editing to it, nothing. They just stream from a stream. And that's
Wow.
why you'll see that I download the videos, I do something to it, then we interject in it every few minutes.
Right.
That copyright law is very strict, and the Freedom of Fair Use, the Fair Use One Act, does not cover these morons playing an hour-long video and then walking away. They put it up, they hit play, and then they go do something else.
Right.
And don't interject until afterwards, and then they don't have shit to say on it.
Right. I now
So
remember somewhere I got lost in the shuffle of when I was talking about modding for other content creators and how nasty and that they get in the comments. So when I banned this
Oh,
one
yeah.
person yesterday, I had somebody else come at me and say, well, this was, Crazy B's First Amendment right to say what she said. And I said, no. I said, yes, it's a First Amendment right for her to say what she wants to, but with that comes consequences. You can
Yes,
say
and it
it.
is the
Go ahead
content
and say
creator's
it.
discretion.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if it's going to
The content creator
violate,
tells the moderators.
right? If it's going to violate potentially, a YouTube copyright or something, why the heck would we, let that slide past?
Well, and you get the ones that come in and say stuff to try and get your live removed just because they can. The trolls.
Correct. Yep. Trolls do it deliberately.
Yep. And I'm pretty
And
good with them. I can talk them down, but some are bad.
Yeah. I find out that usually, like, when I call out a troll, somehow they seem to drop off the live stream and go somewhere. I don't know where or what they do, but somehow they just disappear after you make a comment to them. Even if it's, hello, how are you?
Well, and I get the ones that like to just talk shit. Oh, you're a moron. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'll be like, well, then please elaborate. And they'll be like, no, F you, F that. And I mean, like, we even have people up on my server who started off as a troll. And I got them to come back to reality and be nice. I'm a troll whisperer, I guess you could say.
I'm a troll whisperer. Oh, that's funny.
It's like, we'd love to keep you here, but you got to behave yourselves. And then, oh my God, the trolls that come back with like 10 accounts. They come back with 10 accounts. You ban one, they come back with another and another. I'm like, whack a troll. It's whack a troll.
That's the truth,
Yeah.
though. Yep. All right, so
Ugh.
we're
But yeah,
after
you
5
gotta do
o'clock.
more with these than just play them.
Right. So it's after 5, and as we started out the program, please like it, subscribe, comment, follow us, give us a negative feedback, a positive feedback, any type of feedback would be great. And then don't forget that we are off all of next week. There will be no programming. We are off for a little well-deserved, I'll go
Vacation.
really nowhere, rest and relaxation, vacation to recharge our batteries. And hopefully when we come back, things will have calmed down somewhat. Yeah, but I won't hold my breath in the country, and we can
Yeah.
at least go back to some regularly programming that Crazy being that we like to do. So keep your fingers crossed that can occur. But we appreciate everybody being here, and with that, I'm done. Crazy Bee, how about you, girl? We made it.
I am very much done. I'm sick as a dog. I'm going to curl up, go to sleep,
All right.
and kind of just go
Good
from
evening.
there.
All right. We'll see you
Uh-oh,
guys all
what just
tomorrow.
happened?
Have a good night.
YouTube cut out early for some stupid reason. Did it?
Oh,
No, it didn't. It just looked like it.
okay.
Or did it? No, it says it's offline. So, all right. Sorry for the YouTube. We'll be back tomorrow.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody. We good?